No, couldn't beat them. Come on. Then you've got Charles Oliveira, Real Madrid, couldn't beat him. Come on. It's just repeat on cycle. We nearly get there. We'll drop off, but we don't capitalise.
You're probably the most top-heavy team in the league. Look at it. You got Nunes, you got Diaz, you got Gakpo, you got Salah.
Jeez.
Who else?
Triple DFC, blood.
Jota as well.
And you feel them with them, blood.
Bro, all 5 of them will score double figures. And Jota as well. All 5 of them will score double figures next season, bro. That's a lot of goals.
Yeah, true.
But it's the rest of your team, bro. Do you know what I mean? You don't build the roof first when you build a house. Do you know what I'm saying? And this is the thing. Like, they're like literally, you man are Johnny Bravo FC, bro.
We're the girl on Instagram who can't do the back angles. We've got to do the front angles and front angles. Do you know the girls who only do selfies and they get the top half in?
Yeah, bro, the CCTV, bro. You know what I mean? Because you know the belly's right underneath the shelf, blood. You know them.
That's it, lads. That's it. Bottom half less impressive.
That's it, bro. That's it, man. Now, tits up, man. Literally. You know what I mean? But you don't need to sort out the midfield.
Do you know what I'm intrigued to see? Building that midfield around that attack, because that's the most important thing for me. I think if you get that midfield solidified and you get proper faces who are good enough to compete in the league, then it's good. But then I'm seeing Newcastle sign Tonali, and then I'm looking at us and we're getting Thuram. And there's things about Thuram I question, right? But let's say he becomes the player everyone thinks he can become. If he's not that now and he's coming right in to become a first teamer and he needs time, why are we getting a player as a first teamer who needs time when we're trying to get from 5th to 1st? So in one sentence or in one discussion, you'll say, yeah, I think we can compete for the league. But people don't say that. People don't apply their conclusion with logic. And they'll say something in one conversation which actually contradicts the opinion that they said in this one. So you'll sit there and they'll sit there, we're going to win the league, but we're going to do it with Thuram and McAllister. Okay, so McAllister, probably the closest, probably the best player you can get who's not fully established, if that makes sense. World Cup winner, Premier League proven, all that stuff. And then Thuram, I don't know. I've still got me questions over him. And then I see what other teams are doing. I'm thinking...
But this is the problem. Do you know what I mean? It's the same when I saw Barella linked with Newcastle. The fact that he was linked, that means that he's available. And it's like, why are teams like Man United not going in for him if he's available? Same with you guys.
It's true, man. It's true. That's why I'm questioning. It's like FIFA career mode signing, the ones that you'd say that it's unrealistic and, none of these are ever going to happen. Well, it's now happening. Like Saudi's getting boss players, and then you see a Newcastle going in for Tonali. And it's just frustrating that the tide's changing now to where it's not just Newcastle who would enter in that race, bro. Villa are there. If Wolves get their recruitment more precise, they're going to start being in the top 10 more often. Don't dispute the idea that more investment is coming, and that's going to change the tide of the league very, very soon, and entities are going to swap. Don't get me wrong, I think the big clubs with the big fan bases will always remain in some regard, just because there'll be a big global interest there to anyone who wants to buy the football clubs and whatnot. But otherwise, it's tough, man. It's tough, especially like when it comes to the choppy. I think now you're going to see more of one of the big teams always dropping off. We've seen it before, but I think you'll see it more often now to where at least 2 or 3 usual top 6 teams don't finish inside the top 8, let alone top 6.
Yeah, it's very competitive now. You know what I mean? Now more than ever, you have to keep spending, you have to keep evolving, or you fall behind. Because what Newcastle are doing, they're already showing the intent to kick on from what they're doing. Because people forget that Isak cost 70 million. Like, these men, they're not messing around. And then they've been linked with, obviously, Tonali, Barella, and these men are out here, they're looking to spend money. And then the season after, they're going to do the same thing. And the season after, they're going to do the same thing. You've seen what Saudi Arabia are doing now, bringing players to Saudi. So if you think Newcastle ain't going to drop some of that Saudi bread, then trust me, they're going to be thereabouts. And now they've secured the Champions League. They've got the pull of the Champions League. And they can say to any player, really, on the planet, we can double you or triple your wages. Like, they can say that. They can say that. Do you know what I mean? So if Newcastle don't start, if Liverpool don't start competing with teams like Newcastle financially, they will fall away from them. Just because, like, we saw it. Remember when Man City first got taken over, everyone was like, it's only Man City. Like, nobody thought that they would get to where they are now, to the point where they're probably the most attractive project yet in world football right now. Like, it's one of them things. Probably only Real Madrid got more pull than them. Like, really. And they've got Pep. Do you know what I'm saying? And at the time when they did it and they were buying the Darius Vassell's of this world and the Craig Bellamy's, Who would have thought that these men would have Pep Guardiola and flipping Erling Haaland and that? Like, no one was thinking that far ahead. And Newcastle have the potential and the fan base because they got a bigger fan base probably than Manchester City. So they've got the potential and the fan base to be a massive club. So if everyone don't compete with Newcastle financially, just like they compete with Man City, then bro, Newcastle are going to be a mainstay in the top 4 in the next 5 years, bro.
For sure. They're making the signings that I wish we was making. Like Tonali from AC Milan is a top quality signing, whether you like it or you don't. And even just the intent to try and get Barella, fair play. And then on top of all the, like Trippier, what a signing that was. You know what I mean? Like Trippier, just out of nowhere as well. Like no one was really thinking of that. Like, of course he was linked with clubs, but the way he just went out, picked him from Atletico Madrid, a league winning Atletico Madrid, and then he came in and just pretty much overnight became the best right back in the league, I think. I don't think there's many people who can argue him or debate him.
Yeah, he's right up there.
He's up there, top 2, 3, and that's why I'm thinking, you know, Kieran Trippier, Bruno Guimaraes or Gramais or whatever, all these players, I'm thinking if we bought them, our midfield situation would have been solid. And you look at the prices, Isaac was cheaper than Nunes if you add on Nunes, if you include Nunes' add-ons. So if you think of it from that point of view, Isaac would have been a productive signing. Gramais would have been a productive signing, considering we needed midfielders, and instead we got fucking Arthur. So I'm just thinking, like, they're making signings that they'd improve our team significantly. And then I'm thinking, no wonder they've got top 4. They've got a plan, they've got a vision, and they're executing on it, which is good to see. Liverpool are just getting to a point now, and this is what I've been sort of trying to warn people about, is that, yeah, in the short term, it can be good. But if we've got case studies which suggest minus a year and Klopp, we don't win trophies under this ownership, and we don't make good transfers under this ownership, there's a problem there. And there's one to fear that if Klopp leaves, you know, if you think we've underachieved under Klopp, then you're going to be very disappointed when he goes, because the people struggle to find solutions, which is what pisses me off. I said to you that, okay, Klopp goes, who's coming in? You know what someone said? Diego Simeone.
Yeah, but that stylistically, that's an absolute nightmare.
Forget the stylistic. We're never getting a manager like Simeone. Do you think he'd want to come to Liverpool after being at Atletico Madrid with the bigger gap that Liverpool's now going to have, not only with City, not only with Chelsea, Newcastle, all these teams? The only way he comes to Liverpool is if, you know, like a Conte situation, he really needs a job type idea. So it's not realistic, and you need to find another gem of a manager. So it's unpredictable times for us. I think we'll do okay for the next couple of years, but after that, I'm a little bit concerned.
Yeah, 100%. But this is the thing, like, and things are moving so quickly in football, man. They're moving so quickly. Like, it's like you see, bruv, you blink twice. Do you know what I'm saying? And Newcastle do a madness and sign someone out of nowhere, bruv. And it's like, it only feels like the other day that Liverpool were dominating. Like when I mean dominating, not necessarily in terms of winning all the trophies, but I mean dominating as in, like, when you played against Liverpool, you knew you were getting battered. Like, you knew it. Like, it's one of them things where Liverpool were running through teams like effortlessly. Like, it was some of the most one-sided football matches you would ever see. And then you would see Liverpool play against Man City, and you would kind of expect them to beat them. Like, that's where we were. Like, you know better than anyone.
Facts. It was to a point, to, you know, not even to touch on the glory time, but it was to a point where you think Liverpool can only go and kick on if this is what they've been able to do so far. And we just never done that. And the fact we never took that opportunity, I think, actually shows the incompetence of the owners. And people talk about good business. For every signing you could give me, I could give you 3 bad signings, is all I'm saying. And that's not even the main issue. Recruitment can go wrong, for sure. But when you are also prized on selling your players, so when everyone was going with the narrative like, wow, they're not just good at buying, they're good at selling. They sold Jordan Ibe, they sold Dominic Solanke. They
got 40 M's for Solanke, bro. That is
insane. Selling water to a drowning man. You know what I mean? That type of idea. That was great. But the bit that I didn't understand was Gini Wijnaldum free, Bobby Firmino free. Like, at least we got something for Mane. But it looks like Virgil, Salah, they're going to follow a similar page. Freebies. Here's where I have an issue. What did I say earlier about our model? Our supposed model, sell to buy. Now, if you're not selling,
no assets.
If you're not selling, and that's the way you spend, do you see where I've got an issue, brother?
Yep, you've got no assets right now. So if it's a sell to buy, that means, apart from McAllister, This is why you're getting linked with the Charams and stuff like that. You're getting linked with emerging players because there's no money unless you sell someone and you don't have assets to sell. This is
I've realised what we are. We are the Dustin Poirier of football. Now hear me out. We are the Dustin Poirier of football. I hate it, but you know what? That actually might be generous with some of these fan standards. Dustin Poirier, an interim champion, he's fighting for a BMF title in a couple of weeks, all because he could never beat the best. Khabib. So let's say Man City couldn't beat them. No, couldn't beat them. Come on. Then you've got Charles Oliveira, Real Madrid, couldn't beat him. Come on. It's just repeat on cycle. We nearly get there. We'll drop off, but we don't capitalise. And then it goes back into mediocrity, which is all I've been warning the fan base about. So we get to a point where we go mediocre. You should have seen it from a mile away because this is the way football owners do it. They'll mention the highest of expectations and ambitions, but you'll get very little in return because that's all. The targets you believe Liverpool should be setting is not their targets. So